Hello, everyone. I'm Sulakshana, and I warmly welcome you all to today's session. We are honored to have with us a distinguished agricultural economist who has been instrumental in empowering smallholder women farmers and revolutionizing the food ecosystem. With over a decade of experience in academia and policy research, along with a PhD and MPhil in economics, she has played a pivotal role in pioneering research on farmer support in India. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Prerna Terway, the founder of Tuvai Nature. Hello, Dr. Prerna, and welcome to Krishi Jargon.
Hello, Sulakshana.
Hi. Prerna, to start with, could you share a bit about your journey and what inspired you to establish Tuvai Nature? Over to you.
Okay, so I'm an agriculture economist, and I have worked on several research projects, which basically on on estimating support to Indian farmers, along with the role which is played by the government in terms of supporting farmers for both input support as well as output support through minimum support prices, etc. Um, I have worked deeply on agriculture credit insurance, cut, on agriculture insurance, credit, and several other important topics. So, in it was during this experience of mine, I realized that all of this work, how it is really implemented on ground with farmers, be it any schemes, any policies, any decisions that is taken at the central or the state level. And I try to find out what is the gap between what the policy really says and the implementation. When I felt that there is a substantial need for intervention, I decided to start my own venture by the name of Tuvai Nature. So there were two key aspects that I had in mind while starting this organization. The first was the limiting role of support, especially in the form of subsidies, which is given to farmers in the form of cheap fertilizer, credit, water, and other such inputs. So now, with as we know, the quality of soil is declining, and one of the reason is because of too much or an imbalanced use of several nutrients that are applied on the soil. So as a result, the soil quality is depleting. While the productivity is increasing, and now India has graduated from being a food scarce to a food surplus nation, but the side effect, or you can say the impact, is now clearly visible in the form of declining soil health. So that was first, and the second was to really look at from the consumer's side and see what is happening, what is the kind of food that we are consuming. Now, because the soil does not have enough nutrients, there's a direct linkage with the food that we eat. So this is the gap that I began observing both through data and through day-to-day experience and conversing with various stakeholders. For instance, we think that spinach gives us iron, and when in 1920s Popeye was made, and iron was and spinach eating was popularized, we don't have the same level of energy now. It has the iron content itself has declined by more than 10 times. So Popeye is not no more energetic. So these are the two pillars that led me to found Tuvai Nature, which basically is to promote natural farming, sustainable agriculture practices.
Okay. How does Tuvai Nature help smallholder farmer, like women farmers, to transition to sustainable agricultural practices?
Okay, so Tuvai Nature, we basically work with tribal and smallholder women farmers in the state of Jharkhand and Odisha. So we intervene in villages by conducting training, helping farmers understand the current practices, the problems in the current practices rather, and how transitioning towards a low cost sustainable practice will help them. And more importantly, because we are dealing with women, children come, they become the prime focus for them. So they care about feeding their children good food. So we start with nutrition values. and how they can improve the quality of the food that they are growing in their farms. So, first emphasizing on the consumer, on the consumption side of how better spinach can be grown, or better wheat can be grown, or any other food items, using less resources, and using locally available resources. So we have made these centers, which we call Green School or Harit Shala, where these kind of trainings are conducted, and then bio input preparation is also taught to them. Some of our enterprising farmers, they prepare these inputs in our green schools, and then they also distribute it to others who do not have the time or the resources to prepare them. So as a result, there's sort of an ecosystem which is created especially for the availability of bio inputs, which is a truly democratic system, because it is for the farmers, by the farmers, of the farmers. So um, it's a very decentralized kind of a model, and anyone can enroll in these schools, and then they get access to all training support along with a market buyback facility. So this is how we are working on making bio inputs available to them, because transitioning is not only by saying, but it's also by doing. So do we really have the resources, or do they know how to make these alternate resources available to them? So this is how we intervene. That is first. And the second is that we are really focused on improving farmer income, and growing conventional wheat and rice will have a limited impact on the ultimate livelihood for farmers. So we are now helping them transition towards medicinal aromatic plants, particularly aromatic plants, and then we have our own processing center, which we call common facility center. Any farmer who's diversifying from low value to these high value crops, we take care of the processing of those of the produce. So for example, if a farmer has transitioned towards lemongrass cultivation, then the lemongrass oil is also extracted in the same facility. So and once the oil is available to them, these essential oils are manufactured, then they are free to sell it in the market. And so we provide a proper buyback facility also. So it's also, if we serve twin purpose of sustainable agriculture along with improving livelihoods.
That is very inspiring and it is very wonderful, I can say. So, as you have mentioned that you are working in farmer level, so there are many challenges that comes while working with farmers. Maybe it might be linguistic issue, or some farmers are maybe reluctant to, transition to different crops. Or so, how does Tuvai Nature tackle with these
So we
challenges?
have a very simple model. Um, First, let me address the linguistic barrier. We do not face much of it because we are always partnering with the local leaders, or any local person who can help us, who can bridge this gap. So uh, there are many challenges working with farmers, and convincing them to switch towards sustainable practices, or even for crop diversification for towards high value crops. What we do is we have a 10% model, which means that we do not ask, or we do not tell farmers that you have to, if you're a part of our system, then the entire land needs to be converted at once. So we do, if a farmer has 1 acre of land, so only 10% is advisable in the first season. They see the results for themselves, then that's not a challenge for the next 50% or the next 100%. But it's the first 10% which takes a lot of effort, convincing, and also time for farmers to understand and adapt to these practices. That is first. The second is we have our own demonstration plots wherever we implement these practices. So farmers can come and see, for have an experience on these farms themselves, see the method of cultivation, see the inputs that goes in growing these crops, and the processing facilities right there. So it's sort of a one-stop solution for any farmer who is willing to join these practices. This is how we overcome barriers of any resistance that we face from farming communities. So far it's been very encouraging, because once we start with one village and we implement this model, we see the neighboring village also sending inquiries, and other farmers from other fields also, they come and they have a look at the practices that's going on. So there is only once they see, then they will do. There is no second way about it. If we just theoretically tell them and sort of just convince them, that is not enough. So we have to show them, we have to be with them, we have to sort of handhold till they are fully convinced to implement these practices. So farmers in the neighboring villages also start sending inquiries when they see the positive impact that we have created in the or in the selected village. And we sort of it just spreads around, so it's a ripple effect. The 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 main core is to have the first 10% plot of the farmers converted. Once that happens successfully, then we are able to convert the entire land as well as neighboring villages. So then it's more of the farmers coming to us rather than we reaching out to them.
Okay. It's like more of a what we see, we believe kind of thing for the
Correct.
farmers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So I want to ask that how do you envision the future of sustainable farming in India? Since we are already talking about sustainable agriculture.
Um, First, the government is already focusing quite a lot on sustainable agriculture. We have various policies and programs running for farmers, which sort of helps them in the process. And there is a push from the government, there is no doubt about that. What we require is large scale pilot done for states, because our country is diverse. There are so many agroclimatic zones, different kind of temperature, different types of land holding, crops that are grown. So we cannot have like a one size fit all kind of a solution, but what we need is a very concerted effort from every state, where we can have a pilot, a very large scale agroecology kind of a model, where farmers can easily adapt, seeing this kind of large scale implementation of these programs. For that we need a lot of support from the government, both helping to set these large scale demonstrations, and second is any farmer who is converting from chemical to natural or sustainable agriculture system must get some incentive. So incentives in terms of especially cash incentives can work very well, um, because the present system subsidizes chemical based farming. So unless the same kind of push is not there, wide scale adoption of natural farming will not be possible at a large scale. Yeah.
That's true. That's exactly very true. So my last question to you is like what advice would you give to the aspiring economics and the agriculturists who are looking to make an impact in the agricultural sector?
I would say that you must always combine your research, which all the secondary research with ground experience. That is the main reason why I switched from a policy research role to an entrepreneur role. And because writings keep happening, they're very important part of of making the system work, the agriculture, making people understand the complexities of agriculture. But only when we are on the ground actually putting our all the plans into action will we see a real change. And there is a lot of resistance, because agriculture projects are not very easy to implement. There will be many challenges, resistance from all over. But if one is determined, and if there is a positive positivity in the mind, it's not impossible. There are already large scale experiments happening, people running successful businesses. Very good to listen to podcasts to take inspiration from them. That's what I follow. And whatever, even if it is just about policy research, it should just be a very thorough, well researched projects that one must spend time on. Otherwise, a lot of overlapping of work happens, which sort of really does not benefit anyone. So, is to pick that niche and work on it fully. That is what I believe in.
That is such amazing thought you have put on. So thank you so much, Dr. Prerna, for sharing your inspiring journey with us today. So on behalf of Krishi Jagran, we appreciate your efforts in shaping a more equitable and regenerative agricultural landscape and wish you continued success in your mission. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much to Krishi Jagran team for recognizing women like us, and let's hope we make a better tomorrow.
Definitely. It's our
Yeah.
pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good day.
you. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you so much.